Okay, let's scoot ahead all the way across the pond. It is Euro qualifier season. You know your boy loves a good machination. So I deep dove on exactly what the stakes are surrounding Euro qualifiers, and I feel like I got a little bit of a better handle on it. So 16 teams qualify for the 2025 Euros going down in Switzerland. Side note, not sure why we wouldn't be able to put that trip together, by the way. I mean, that could work. Probably need Norway heavily in the mix there if we're going to find a sponsor who wants to go into the channel with your boys. Talk about that one later. For now, we're going to talk about this. For now, we're going to talk about how to qualify for the 16-team knockout tournament. So, we hit this in our Nations League coverage. 4 groups in League A. Top 2 teams in each League A group get in. So that's 8 total. You're looking at the Spains, the Germanys, the Frances, the Englands. Those are all the League A kind of bunches. So if you finish top 2, you're in. Switzerland, the host country, they're in. So that's 9 of the 16 spots accounted for, which leaves 7 spots, which I believe break down as follows if my research serves me correctly. Those 7 spots, this is fun. They're going to be determined by a 28-team playoff.
Amazing.
Okay? Those 28 teams will include the 8 remaining League A teams, the 3rd placers and the 4th placers. So these are like your Belgiums, your Finlands, your Polands. 12 teams from League B, so the top 3 in each group. League B is like the Scotlands, Portugals in League B, the Serbias of the world, and the aforementioned Switzerland. So we'll get 8. We'll get all of them from League A. They'll get into this round robin. 12 from League B. And here's where it gets fun. 8 teams from League C. The 5 group winners from League C's 5 groups and the best 3 runners-up. Here's where we might get a little Luxembourg, little Kazakhstan, North Macedonia, the Faroe Islands, little Faroe Islands action. Lovely in the summer, by the way, a little rainy this time of year, so pack accordingly. Should be fun. I think there's real stakes. We're going to see some fun League C teams, kind of mix it up with the big boys, big girls, big players, big people, however you want to kind of like this, like that. I'm excited.
Understandable. I think you could make a case that after the World Cup, and we love the Champions League. I love club football. I do realize, as much as I enjoyed watching She Believes Cup, as much as I enjoyed watching some of these Euro qualifier matches, man, I love club football. I fucking love it. I love the clubs. And I mean, it makes sense. So we've talked about it many times. I'm a huge American college football fan. And my lifelong dream is to always compare these 2 sports. But man, the Euros, god damn, the Euros is a great tournament. Perhaps, my opinion, somewhat shaded by our reigning European champions, the Lionesses of England, my squad. But even before that, I mean, you could make a case that it's the 2nd greatest tournament next to the World Cup. I think it's neck and neck between the Euros and the Champions League for me. She Believes Cup, 3rd place, obviously. But you mentioned the names, the teams. You think about the Dutch, France, Spain, England. These teams are absolutely loaded. And I like what they've done with the league. It's a little complicated with these qualifying leagues, but thankfully we have Dino De Cespedes to break it all down for us. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some teams that we've really kind of like fallen in love with, like you think about in Italy.
Yep.
They get a goal. Giuliano to Giacinti. Stop me if you've heard of that one before.
Yeah, come on.
Portugal, another team on the rise. It's just, I mean, how can you not love watching that team play? To me, I actually don't like to compare club football to world football.
That's fair.
It's the other side of the coin. Like it's where sort of like you can see these other cross matchups or teammates kind of going up against each other. USA, Canada had a bunch of that.
Yep.
It's just really incredible. You get to discover players in a different context under different circumstances. Thinking back to Colombia, my first experience with like Amira Ramirez, Linda Caicedo, Lacey Santos, and then you see them all playing together. You're like, yo, this is fucking super cool. Like this is like Colombian football that they're playing. And now obviously those players, playing in big time clubs all over the world, you get to have a different appreciation for them. So we don't have to choose. That's the best part about it. So it's, for me, it's the backside of the coin.
That is fair. Comparison is the thief of joy. Sometimes my natural mental state is just there is a little joy thief running around back there. So part of the reason I love doing this podcast with you is you make me kick that joy thief in the crotch and get him the fuck out of here. Okay, I will enjoy the international football as much as the club football. We're 2 matches through on the group stage of these Euro qualifiers. What have you seen so far? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. If I may. It's a 2-beer show because
We're 2 matches through.
we're 2 matches through. It's been a stressful week. I always love those weeks where it's, oh boy, it's been a week and it's only Wednesday. Apologies to some of our pals who have DM'd us on the ITC Twitter account. We're going to answer you soon. It's just the day jobs. Been a little rough lately, but that's okay. It's what we got the football for.
100%. Yeah, our guy, Mr. Grant Angle, out here earning it. Like you mentioned, 2 matches through the group stage. If I didn't sway you over to the world of international football before, how about the new group of life?
Mm-hmm.
Group A1, Norway, Italy, Finland, the Netherlands, all on 3 points after 2 matches. Norway, let's go, leading the way with a +3 goal differential. So maybe they're in the driver's seat. And, maybe a Norwegian sponsor steps up and helps your boys get out in 2025 out to Switzerland. We can all make it a big party. Group A2, Spain and Denmark. They're in the driver's seat there. 6 points for both. Czechia and Belgium both on 0. Group A3, France sitting pretty, 6 points. Sweden and England, they're gonna battle it out.
Yeah.
England ahead right now, 4 points. Sweden is on 1 point. But come May 31st, match day 3, things can get a little tricky there. England hosts France and Sweden travels to Ireland. And then Group A4, Germany leading that group, 6 points. Iceland and Austria both on 3. And those 2 squads go head to head on May 31st. So a lot to get excited about, a lot of stakes. I think something that we're going to kind of keep an eye on as we get closer to the end of the group stage and shit starts to get a little bit more real.
Let me just throw out here, I just fact check myself, make sure that I'm correct here. Okay, so Norway's first match against Finland, they won 4-0.
Let's go.
One of our faves, Martin Ostenstad of the powerhouse club SK Brann, in the starting lineup for that 4-0 win versus Finland. The second match that happened on April 9th, yesterday, an unfortunate 1-0 loss to the Netherlands. Lineth Beerenstein scores in the 6th minute. She's just a fucking scoring machine. It's hard to combat that. But I will say, I'm just saying, no SK Brann players in the Norwegian starting lineup for the loss. So, I don't know, is correlation, is it causation? Just want to throw that out there. You have one match that you won 4-0, you had a Brann player in the lineup. You had a second match that you lost 1-0, you did not have any Brann players. Maybe you might want to consider that for the next match.
Who knows where our next jobs are or the next professional opportunities are going to be. Might be out in Norway, giving them some lineup advice as well. I think
Let's go.
We've made some inroads there so far. That's incredible that even in the win, only one Brann player. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
and I'll say Gaupset and Jelland yet to get in either match, if I have this correct. Let me just do a quick on the fly fact check. Yeah, neither has appeared in either match. So, if I may offer a little advice, if I had Signe Gaupset on my roster and she's healthy, so please, our pals in Norway, please correct me if I'm wrong, if she's battling anything that I don't know about. But if I had Signe Gaupset on my team, I'd put her in the game.
Yeah, I'd never take her out. Like we mentioned, 4 more group stage matches left in qualifiers. But May 31st is when all these teams come back together. Some fun, some might say tasty matchups left on the docket. Ireland hosting Sweden. That'll be fun. Norway, they host Italy in the aforementioned
game.
Giuliano to Giacinti.
Hell yeah.
Combo there. That's going to be a doozy. Denmark hosts Spain. And the Netherlands hosts Finland. Group of life. Let's fucking go. And the biggie, May 31st, England hosts France.
I'll tell you, man, Sweden played France awfully tough. France escapes with a 1-0 victory. I had mentioned this when Spain beat France a few weeks back. We had pointed out that Spain was like pushing France out wide. Any shot they had felt like it was from an acute angle. They were just trying to kind of play balls into the middle. Sweden did a lot of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me wonder, like, is that what defenses are doing to France? Or is that kind of what Hervé Renard is game planning for? Is that like Diani out on the wing? She's deadly out there. She'll serve balls in, to Le Sommer or anybody who's going to be in the middle there. is that the absolute strategy we want? Because if you can get when Diani cuts in, she's absolutely lethal from there too. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch kind of how that develops. Renard got a red card in that Sweden match as well.
Wow.
Actually, let me just double check that. Okay, the magic of editing. I have fact checked myself. I did have this correct. I want to make sure the minute was right. Hervé Renard gets sent off in that Sweden match in the 58th minute. Straight red. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get directly the fuck out of here. He gets sent off after a foul on Leyssemer that he apparently did not appreciate. But unrelated to Hervé Renard, Wendy Renard is very much worth mentioning. She was in the lineup in the starting 11, and she scored that lone goal to defeat Sweden 1-0. She is back,
Wow.
and that is something that if you root for Lyon, you're probably quite excited about.
That's huge. Obviously for France, huge for Lyon. So to see that she scored and she's playing big minutes, that's huge for both of those squads. On your France point, I think they kind of have to get back to Basha ball, Karshawi ball. Let's open up some space. I think so often, like, the space just shrinks down. I think they're maybe trying to do too much work to get it in close. And I think that might be working against them. I think you have those two players that are so accurate with their service and so crafty, when they switch from defense to offense mentally. They're just leaving a lot on the table, not kind of capitalizing on those two super talents.
Yeah, well said. I think you're exactly right. You have a wealth of talent. Vicky Beccio also ended up getting a red card in that Sweden match. She came on. She starts to get a yellow. I'll have to watch it because obviously they can't broadcast these things on regular television in America. So I'm watching it on some YouTube stream in French. But if I understood correctly, I think the refs started to just show Beccio a yellow card for a hard foul. And I will say, I'll cop to this. Vicky Beccio has been one of my favorite players since I saw her play in the World Cup. I think she has a high ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
The ref starts to pull out the yellow card, and Vicky Beccio completely loses her mind and puts her hands on the ref's arm almost to physically not let her pull out the yellow card. And so the ref pulls out the yellow and then pulls out the red like, hey, don't touch me. I think that's how that went. And it's happening in like the 87th minute or the 86th minute or something like that. So not a great look from Beccio, not a great moment. So you got to wonder, Hervé Renard's getting tossed in the 58th minute. Your players are kind of acting a little wild out there.
Yeah.
That seat for any French football club or even the France international team, that seat can get hot pretty quick, no matter who you are. So, especially if you're getting kind of smashed by Spain and then you're squeaking by Sweden, you might want to start stacking up some wins here soon, Hervé.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you're right on the money about that. I thought you might have gone to maybe a little bit of home cooking, 2 red cards. This one's played in Gothenburg, who knows. But I think I'm with you. I think add to the mix an Olympics at home.
Yep.
There's going to be some big time expectations for this French team. And obviously, like, they're having a moment as well. 2 teams in the Champions League semifinals.
Yep.
You got players like Cascarino coming back, just obliterating. There's going to be some pressure. I think there's going to be some pressure on a lot of teams. I even think about Germany, who's in the US's group, is used to winning. Talk about Champions League, like they've put teams in the final, it felt like forever. And they very famously didn't have a German team make the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which was a big shock to a lot of people. I think a team like Germany is going to have to kind of show something here as well. So going to be a lot of unhappy federations come this summer. Just the competition, the level of the game globally is just at an all-time high. It's so exciting.
Yeah, and I think, that's such a great point in the sense that it really annoys me, and this is a women's football podcast. It's not a men's football podcast. But anytime anybody talks about the English men's national team, if I hear somebody use the term the weight of the shirt, it makes me insane because we've talked about it. I know that the English men's national team is under pressure, just like the English women's national team is under pressure. Do you not think the German national team is not under immense
Right.
pressure, or
Right.
the Spanish national, like that they're just like, oh, good try, everybody. Maybe next time. Like, no, you're on the chopping block if you don't
Oh
win
yeah.
those matches. So I think you're totally right. There are going to be some mega unhappy federations, and the players feel that stress more than anybody. They're on the field. We're talking about their money here in their very short careers comparatively to other people's careers in front offices. So I'm totally with you here. I think this is all leading up to what's going to be an incredible Olympics and then an incredible Euros right after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a great point. I mean, on the men's side, you think about a team like Italy, a team that's won the World Cup in our lifetime, and
Right.
just not even making it to the tournament. It's just got to be so jarring. So I agree with you. The pressure's immense, and that's I think what makes it so exciting. Is it's just gonna be banger after banger this summer. 12
Yep.
teams. I mean, not a dud in the bunch. We're gonna have stuff on every single match, 100%
Oh, yeah.
here on the pod. So definitely keep it locked. In this episode, we broke down the U.S. women's national teams back to back, come from behind. Who's got more guts than us? Capital W wins over Japan, over Canada to take home this year's She Believes Cup. We're also going to draft our U.S. women's national team fantasy roster, 18 spots, and some really, really good players won't make the cut, won't make our cut. And we're going to talk out all of our options there, pick a team that we like going into Paris. We're also going to celebrate the two African nations that punched their ticket to compete in this summer's 2024 Olympics. Congratulations to Zambia. Congratulations to Nigeria. So, like if you liked, and subscribe if you enjoyed talking a little Euro qualifiers, talk a little machinations with your boys.
Yeah, keep it locked. As Dino said, we're going to have a ton on the Olympics. Obviously, the Champions League is coming back. And you know what? We don't have any weight to the shirts. We just plow through. We keep doing these podcasts like real tough guys, a couple of real tough guys doing podcasts. And we appreciate you guys for checking in with us. We'll talk to you next time.